Good evening, my dear friends. It's September 10th. It's 8 p.m. Central European Time. And as you know, tomorrow is September 11th, and I'm going to upload this video on that date. And because actually I want to commemorate all the people that died on that day, all the victims of these terrible attacks that took place on this particular date. And of course, I'm referring to what happened on September 11th, 1973. It's 40 years ago, when the presidential palace in Santiago de Chile was attacked. It was bombed by the military. They blew up the building, and as you all know, the military seized power. They took power. They established a military dictatorship in Chile because they wanted to get rid of Allende, the socialist leader, the democratically chosen leader of Chile. And of course, the United States, they supported the military regime, which was commanded by Pinochet, Augusto Pinochet. Because, United States, they don't want any socialist governments in their backyard, like in South America. And that was not the only thing, the only dreadful event, it was not the only horrible thing that happened in this world on September 11th. Many other things, terrible things, happened, but that was a landmark in history. And another thing that happened, I talked about this in my previous video, the crash at the Monza racetrack 35 years ago. And it was 35 years ago today because it happened on September 10th, not on September 11th, as I said in my previous video. The crash was an accident. The race cars drove around this, drove a couple of laps, and then by accident, one guy he bumped into the car of famous race driver Ronnie Peterson. So it was like an accordion effect. One guy, he didn't have the time to brake, so he hit him, and then he hit the guy in front of him. So this resulted in severe injuries. He was injured. Fractures. He had fractures in the whole of his body was full of fractures. So and he was sent to the hospital, and he actually deceased. He died on September 11th, the day after. His kidneys failed, so his inner organs failed. So he died out of that. And so we commemorate a famous race driver. Formula One race driver. He never won a Grand Prix, I think. It took a lot of wins, but he wanted to win the Grand Prix, but he never did. But he was a daredevil, Ronnie Peterson. God bless him. He died on September 11th, 35 years ago. And also, you have to remember what happened exactly 10 years ago, September 11th, 2003. This scumbag, what's his name again? Mikhailo Mikhailovich, stabbed our foreign minister, this woman. She was very successful within her work. But can you imagine? She had no bodyguards. She and her friend, they went to the department store, and Mikhailo, he was stalking her, and he stabbed her, and she died at the hospital. So this guy, he is really nasty, mentally ill. He claims he's mentally disabled. He claims he's like deranged, but you never know. Maybe he just lied to the psychiatrist, but he's behind bars now. He's still behind bars. He's in jail, but maybe he watches this vlog. That would be awful. Maybe he's gonna knock on my door very soon. That would be terrible. Maybe he brought his knife and he's gonna stab me. So, no, I don't think so. I don't think they have internet there in jail. You can't watch YouTube videos in jail. But, these three very important events in history, what do you think about them? Are they linked to each other in any way? Does the coup d'etat, the military regime in Chile, all these events that took place back then in 1973, do they have something to do with, the crash at the Monza racetrack? Does the regime there, all these the bombings of that presidential palace, that they blew up the building, and they came to power. They established this military dictatorship. Does that have something to do with the crash at the Monza racetrack, or with the stabbing of our foreign minister of foreign affairs? I don't know. Maybe they're linked together in some weird way. Only God knows.